Golden Knowledge Bite 3, Assessing Knowledge Exchange Capability. Instruments and approaches for measuring internal capability, such as formal feedback, can be used as a focus for analysis and review. The diversity of approaches for exchanging knowledge will differ depending on different recipient groups, i.e. peers, learners and employers. What's your current capability for knowledge exchange?
Well, I think it's improved. I feel more confident now that what I'm delivering here is actually going to set students up to progress into the industry. So I'm more confident, but saying that, there are always going to be gaps in knowledge because the way that technology increases and improves, moves forward all the time. So there's always room for improvement. But I certainly feel better for having been on the secondment and spent that sort of immersion time in industry.
I think it's an inherent part of my job as an academic to actually try to transfer as much knowledge as I can to a wide range of people, and I think there are lots of mechanisms in place for actually doing that within the academic environment. And my secondment was over a 3-year period, so I was able to see a lot of changes between when I started to when I ended in terms of what companies were doing, because by the time I ended it was a lot more than a buzzword, a current buzzword, and a lot of people keen to find out what others were doing. And I think it has benefits even now. For example, last week I was invited to a company's team meeting on knowledge management because they were keen to find out what I could actually pass on to their team in terms of knowledge transfer.
At Jisc we have a good certainly in the food department here, we have a good rate of transferring technology between each other because we're so inextricably linked to industry. 50% of the income coming into our department is from our own efforts, and what I mean by that, 50% comes from the government through funding students and the like, but we also bring in 50% from working with industry, and that could be through trials and developments, it could be through new product development, and it could be through consultancy and training. All that income that comes in enables us to work with small, medium, large enterprises to produce a product that they want. So now that I've got this extra knowledge, I can now move that forward. And the latest one being really this question about ultrasonics in pasteurisers, enabling pasteurisers to maintain their cleanliness. And that can have a huge knock-on effect to process time safe and clean.
For my own knowledge, yes, I really did. I was quite surprised how much I did know. I thought perhaps, as I've said, things have moved on. They have. Control side of things, they've moved on. And once again, I know about PICs, I know about PLCs, but to see it actually being used. But the most thing was making me confident that I actually knew what I was talking about, that I could converse with those people inside the industry and still make sense, which meant I wasn't completely divorced from them, even though it's been a few years since I was in the industry itself.
Most of our dissemination to colleagues is done on an informal basis, right? It could be just like the occasional chat with colleagues, which obviously there's going to be a lot of dissemination there. There can also be some formal programs where I could just maybe choose a topic, discuss some resources that I've made up as a result of that course, and basically make them available to colleagues to use. And that way we can sort of build up on that, because what I make I can have a colleague that comes in and say, okay, why not change it here? So the fact that we're getting a lot more people involved, which means at the end of the day we can have a final good end product because of that development.
Who do you transfer knowledge to?
Primarily, because I deal with day release students for most of the week, not all the week, I'm talking to people who have knowledge. They may not understand exactly what's going on within their factory from the engineering point of view, and that's why they're here. But they do know if they're being told untruths or being skimmed over, you show lack of knowledge. If you show that lack of knowledge, then you're losing it. You're losing your credibility throughout. Particularly with materials. They know very, very little about materials, but they do know about their processes that they deal with.
There was a lot of, from my point of view, there was a lot of cascading to do. Obviously, first thing I had to do was develop a report and obviously took the camera along with me as well, so I did a fair bit of editing too. But I made a presentation to the senior management team in the college, I made a presentation to the governors, and then with colleagues who I work with on a daily basis, sat down with them and went through all the things I'd learned and all the things I saw, and were able with that team to put forward almost like the beginnings of a development plan about where we thought we needed to be and what it is we needed to do.
I teach on a regular basis, and I actually have 2 modules that I run that I could include aspects of knowledge management on. So from that perspective, we run seminars for the students and they have assessment on that. The second group would be my peers, fellow academics, and within the conference circuit I deliver conference presentations and write papers on this topic. And the final group would be those in industry, so when I attend events or meetings or anything of that nature, I am keen to let them know what I'm doing and find out what they're doing and see if we can offer any help to those organisations.
Well, we have a fantastic learning resource centre here, the Kent Science Resource Centre, and we are open to teaching anyone and everyone who wishes to learn in a science environment. So we run courses here for primary school children when they've come and done hands-on science with their parents. We do a lot of work with schools because they're trying to put more and more practical science into the school curriculum, and not all schools have the facilities to be able to do that.
We're taking the knowledge that we gained from the experience in Toyota and delivering BIT on site to their staff. So we're delivering with the modules of team working, problem solving, 5C and lean manufacturing, improving their business linked into quality, cost and delivery.